Hello, folks. How are you all? I hope everybody is well. Let's get that up there. Good evening and welcome to the Chatter House. I hope everybody is doing okay. So, what we're going to do is just going to give it a couple of minutes for people to start coming in. There's people starting to come in already on Facebook. I just need to check something here. That's fine. Okay. And also, YouTube. There's a few watching in there at the minute. I'm not expecting very many people in tonight because obviously the circumstances going on at the moment, and just hope everybody is okay. But hopefully we will get some people in. But it's the people here who matters. Um, so everybody is starting to come in. We'll just check the comments on YouTube if I can find it here. Right, there's nothing there yet. Okay. Right, well, folks, welcome to Tuesday night. Where has the week gone? It's been a busy week for me. I haven't stopped all week. I've been here, I've been there, I've been here around the youngin. I've also been doing my new profile on TikTok as well. I've just been really, really busy, but this is where my home is. The Chatter House is my home, and I will never forget about it. And that's the main thing. Okay, folks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a wee mini roll call here of who's in so far, and if any more come in, I will give you some mention. Right. Oh, they're all starting to fly in there. Right. Let's see who is in. Don't forget, folks, the rules of the Chatter House is slightly different to other social media. If you don't say hello, I will not mention your name because that's the way we work. If you do say hello, I will mention your name. It's just sometimes, I know tonight's not really like that, but sometimes we do talk a lot about some sensitive issues, and some people like to stay in the background. So we'll just keep that rule in all the time. If you're wondering why I'm on the smaller screen tonight, because it's easier, because I'm going to bring Claire on in a wee minute. So let's do this roll call very quickly because we don't want to keep Claire hiding in the background too long. So let's see who's in. I'm Michelle McGroganson, straight through the door, Miss Chatterhouse herself. Hello, Michelle, my love. Nice to see you. Sam Davidson's in. He says, hello, Stuart. One of our newest members, one of our new members is in, our Chris Adam. And if anybody doesn't know who Chris is, I know Chris through TikTok, and I had the pleasure of doing a reading for Chris there a couple of weeks ago. Welcome, Chris. Sam Davidson says, hello, everyone. This should be an interesting, just finished season 2 of Ghost Inside My Child. Lovely. Sarah Simpson is into the door. Good evening, Stuart and Lee. I hope you're keeping well. We are, Sarah. Our Phyllis Morris is in. Nice to see you, Philly. Kai Ferguson's in. My local historian. She's lurking in the background just for now. So just do one more check over here, and it's quiet over there at the moment. Okay, folks, so we have an interesting one for you tonight. Oh, we've got an interesting one. I have a girl here who I'll tell you how I got to know Claire. Claire is a friend of James. Now, if anybody doesn't remember, in the Open Otter House last year, James, Farsight Medium, came to do an evening with us. It's hard to believe it was a year ago. It really, really is. He's not in yet, Sam, but I'm sure he'll be in a minute. And that's how I got to know Claire. Now, as you know by all the glamorous posters and stuff, Claire, yeah, I always have to be careful when I do this. Claire is a past life regression therapist. Now, I'm not even going to go in to tell you what a past life regression therapist does. I know me and Claire have spoken before about this. Well, I didn't, but somebody else did. But we're going to hear it from her because she's the expert and I know nothing about it. Our Tracy Wee Wee's just come in. Nice to see you, Tracy. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring our Claire forward. So, we and I just have a wee bit of a figure about here now. How long? Get her forward here. Here's our Claire. Hello, Claire. Nice.
Hello.
You see what I have to go through even before I even bring anybody forward of all this? you know, Claire, thank you so much for doing this. I was trying to explain to everybody that we have actually sort of done this before, but we haven't because it wasn't me. It was Auntie Youngin, who is my twin sister, who is 30 years older. I have to remember that. She actually did her Puppet In podcast for her. David Thompson's in as well. So I just want to just change this very quickly on the chat. Right, Claire. So what we're going to do tonight is very, very similar to what you did with Auntie Youngin before. So before we even talk about what you do. I'm not going to do the background too much because there's a lot of stuff I want to get covered. So I just want to give everybody a wee bit of background about you. So Claire, whereabouts in the UK are you from, or where are you, or where are you originally from, and where are you now?
So I'm originally from the Midlands, so just West Midlands way. I was there till kind of early teens, and now I live just outside York. So I'm now in North Yorkshire.
Just outside York, and that is a beautiful place, York, because I've actually been there myself. Well, sort of, I passed through it on the train when I'm going to Scarbados.
Yeah,
Because sometimes you have to change there. Sometimes the train doesn't always have to go through, and you have
okay.
to change and to go. But sometimes, if you're lucky, you can get one that goes straight up.
Yeah.
So, Claire, during the day, now, I'm not even going to go talk about you growing up or anything or whatever at the minute. So during the day, obviously, I have told everybody you're a past life regression therapist, but you also have another job as well, don't you? You have
I
a
do.
job, a daytime job. So tell
I
us about that first of all.
So my daytime job, I'm a veterinary nurse. So I've worked in vet practice for 25 years now. So growing up, that's all I ever wanted to do was be involved in veterinary work. So went to university, qualified when I was 25, I think, a while ago, a long time ago now. But I was been in practice for a few years before that, before I went to university. So it's something I've always wanted to do is work with animals. I'm very lucky to get the job that I always wanted. But what I do now is obviously I'm still doing the vet nursing, but run the regression alongside it now. So yeah, I'm kind of
Did
like
you
a planner.
did you Claire ever want to be a vet as such, or was it just vet? Did you actually think you were going to be a vet one day, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in the era of the original All Creatures Great and Small on the telly and always wanted to be James Herriot. That was my dream. I just wanted to work on the Yorkshire Dales with lambs and farm animals and yeah, read all these books when I was young and just wanted to be James Herriot. So grew up with this inkling that I was going to grow up be a vet and I'd just walk into the job, but it wasn't, I wasn't to be in the vet side of things. Purely just didn't make the grades really, but found out that nursing was actually where I was supposed to be and enjoy that far more than I ever would been a vet. So yeah,
But
it was a good thing.
But the thing about it is, I don't think people realize how much a veterinary nurse actually does. They're not just there to assist the vet; they do a lot more than that. Don't they, Claire? They do. People get an image, should stand beside the vet and hand them stuff, or sedate animals, or whatever. But they do a lot more than that, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. It's so varied. We run our own clinics, we do radiography, so we're all trained to work x-rays, we're doing anesthesia, medical nursing, surgical nursing, you name it, we can do it. It's all under the veterinary direction, obviously, but yeah, we're yeah, there is a lot more that goes on behind the scenes than people realise with our profession, definitely.
Now you know what I'm going to ask you next because I know Auntie I'm going to ask you this question. What was this story about a fish?
Oh, the fish. So yeah, the jobs varied on the best of days, and the practice I worked in at the time was part of a pet shop, and the pet shop
Mhm.
had fish that they keep. And then one day we got a call from the manager of the pet shop to say one of the fish had eaten another fish, but the little fish had got stuck inside the big fish, and the big fish was struggling. So then we had to operate on the big fish. So we had to anaesthetize it in the water and then basically pull the little fish out of the big fish. And the big fish survived and swam away, have a lovely life, and a few months later. But I must admit, operating on a goldfish was probably one of the most memorable things I've done.
How do you need to taste a fish? Because I know I would get images of you chasing around the boat with a needle. I don't think it's like that, is it?
Oh, no. You know what? You automatically think we're going to have to do that, but we have liquid anesthesia that we drop into the water. So you just put it in a
Okay.
little bowl and just keep dropping the anesthetic fluid in until the fish goes to sleep. And then you literally have to operate on it in the water, very, very shallow water with it on its side, and quickly do what you need to do, and then pop it back in a bowl of fresh water to wake up. So yeah.
Now, and I know that's not why we're here, but this is fascinating me. So you actually have to operate on the water. You
Yeah.
actually have to operate on the fish, and it still has to be in a little drop of water.
It
That's
does,
unbelievable. It's amazing what they can do. It's amazing what they can do. It really, really is.
yeah.
Um, Jackie McFarlane has just come in, and Emma Doherty has just come in as well. Hi, Emma. How you, Jackie? So now there is something I want to bring in here, Claire, and I have to be careful what way I bring it in because, in a way, I think it opened your awareness to what you do now. But I don't know if you actually involve this in doing what you do now. But I want to mention it anyway. Do you know it's great when you've talked to somebody before because you know what you know.
Yeah.
So from a young age, you actually noticed that you could maybe see or feel things that other people couldn't. If you could explain that a wee bit for me.
Correct. So, when I was growing up, we kind of lived in old farmhouses and things. The buildings were always very old. We lived out in the
Mm,
country, and I guess that kind of building comes with, notoriously will have spirits around it with them being so old. And it was so normal life to me, sensing any different energies around that I thought nothing of it. I grew up with it. I didn't mention it to anyone because it was all part and parcel of the life that I used to lead. So, yes, I used to sense things. I was very aware, but to me, it was normal. So, why would I talk about something that was just
mm,
normal within in the place? But yeah, I'd say from about 3 or 4, I became more aware of it.
okay. So how did the introduction to the regression come into your life? How did you? Because there is other things I want to talk about later on as well, other than the regression as well.
Mhm.
But what? How did this all start, Claire? Was it because of the connection with spirit, or did that sort of make you curious, or how did it all come about?
So yeah, I mean the connection with spirit was with me obviously from an early age, but I always was very interested in old buildings. Had a
Mm,
fascination with castles for since I was young. I always used to take myself off when I could and go walk around a castle or an old monument. I was very interested in history, but didn't really know why. So I always had a pull to old buildings. And I read a book. Oh gosh, I forgot his name is now, but a gentleman that wrote a book about past life therapy and people that had past lives and the experiences that he'd had with them. And I was absolutely like blown away because so much fitted with me as well. Um, and I just thought, you know what, I'm interested in this. I want to have a little look at it, and found a course, and learned how to do it. And it just fitted so well. And I just thought, wow, this is an absolute mind blowing subject. But personally, so much fitted in with me as well on all the experiences that I had previously. So that's how I got into doing it.
okay, so just to reiterate for everybody who's watching, a lot of people maybe don't know that you have to be trained to do this.
Yeah.
Obviously you've got you've got certificates, you've got all your qualifications or whatever. This is not just something that you go into not without having the qualifications and things. So I just want to make that clear to everybody. You have to be trained and whatever. So, Claire, let's use like since I've got to know you, and since obviously you were on Auntie Alien's podcast as well, I have had my eyes opened and I've learned a few things about this.
Yeah.
Just through conversations, especially in the chat. So what I want to do is right. So first of all, let's talk about Leanne Free is in Julie. Oh, it's Julie. Hi guys. Do you know Leanne Free? Is that someone you know?
No.
Uh, Hi Leanne.
No.
Nice to see you. Oh Leanne, I think Leanne's one of my. I don't know. Sounds familiar. Hi Leanne. It's nice to see you. That's on YouTube. Now, say for instance, let's use this as an example, Claire. Why do people? What gives people the push, or why? What happens with people for them to feel as if they need to come to get this past life regression therapy? Because we're actually going to go through what you do in a minute. But what gives people that push to walk through the door? Why do they do this?
So it's quite a niche thing, this is. So it's not very widely known, and it's something you would have to have a pull to do to actually look into doing it, I guess. So generally, people are quite spiritual when they come and see me, or um, they've developed phobias, maybe that they can't understand why, like they don't like going into water, for a fear of drowning, and been like that since they were young, but have no occurrence of it ever happening in this lifetime. They may feel drawn to a person or drawn to a certain, like a castle or something, like I was. So it's that gets the cogs going, really, and thinking, do you know what, I need to find out why. Regression therapy in itself just means going back. It doesn't necessarily mean past life, but generally that's where this goes to. So people like to go back to find out where all these things have come from. And that's how they contact me then to do that.
Because I do remember, people don't know. This could actually be maybe someone who sees a photograph,
Yeah.
or they see someone in a photograph and they say, I know that person. And it haunts them, Claire. It really, really haunts them. How do I know this person? And
Yeah.
I shared something with you, which I found one time that I was away somewhere. I can't even remember where it was. And I knew where to go. We knew, I knew the streets. I knew where this place was, because Lee had said to me, well, we'll go here. And I took us right there. I'd never ever been there before. You is that the type of thing, which.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You could drive to somewhere that you've never been and know it's familiar. But why would you know that? Because you've never been there before, but it seems very familiar to you. So yeah, anything like that that draws you into that you want an explanation for as to why. Have you been there before somewhere, but you just can't remember? Yeah, anything like
Okay. Okay. So let's just explain this a wee bit in case anybody's tuning in here and doesn't know what regression is and they don't know why people do it. It is people's beliefs, because I have to be careful, and this is for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that as well,
that.
that we have all lived before.
Yeah.
Not just maybe one life, but numerous lives. There is layers of time in our lives. And what I actually learned was, Claire, as well, and you said something which stuck in my mind. The past life regression therapy can actually help you deal with things that is going on in your life today. Like as you said, like somebody has phobias, or,
Mhm.
or, or, or it's healing,
It's healing, absolutely. So it's
you,
another
you know.
another point of healing. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Claire, let's do a little role play here. Okay,
Okay.
so I come to see you.
Yeah.
Now, what way can this be done? Obviously, you do it in person, but obviously, most a lot of people here from Northern Ireland and stuff, you do this online as well, virtually, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Because you find that's where most of your work is now, isn't it? Virtually, I know you still do see clients and face to face, but a good lot of your work is virtual now, isn't it?
It is. It's mainly since COVID, basically. Now I got to learn how to use Teams like most people, I guess. And yeah, we just learned how to do it virtually. So yeah, we can do it online.
Okay, so I come through the door, right, and we have an appointment booked, and I say to you, right, Claire, I would like to get this regression therapy.
Yeah.
So what's the first step? What do we do?
So in a normal session, what I would do is sort of spend the first 10 to 15 minutes getting to know you to put you at ease. So ask you what brought you here, a little bit about you, what you like to do, and just keep it nice and relaxed. Because I know a lot of people with this sort of thing get very, very nervous. Um, it is a gentle form of hypnotherapy, and I know years ago, if someone said to me, "Right, we're going to use hypnotism to do this," I would run a mile. One of my biggest
Mhm.
fears growing up was hypnotherapist, which is, ironic considering what I do now. But the thought of having anybody like me being under control of anybody really scared me. But this form is very, very gentle. So I'd spend the first few minutes reassuring you and just explaining that it's just done through guided meditation. And it's just like having the best relaxing daydream that you can have. It's just basically it's going into that daydream state. So you're not actually under my control at any time. I help you to get where you need to be, but you can always come round. So that first few minutes would be me reassuring you that that's what we do in the process of it.
Yeah, because I was actually just about to say there, because a lot of people
Mhm.
do fear about, you know, because you know yourself, you see these hypnotists on stage and all, and they're
Yeah,
making people be chickens and everything and
that's
whatever.
my
It's all stage
fear.
stuff anyway. But
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's still in people's minds, and they would say, "I would be afraid to get this therapy because am I going to be under any control? We are not, because you can actually sort of you can come out at any time. Claire, isn't that right? Or you can correct me.
100%. So even if you're having your deepest vivid memory and your subconscious is feeling quite protective, your subconscious is there to protect you basically. So if a memory comes through that it doesn't want to share or you get worried or upset by it, you can just wake up like you've been in a daydream. You are not under my control at any time. I'm literally there to take you to where you need to be and then be a note taker for everything that you say and guide you through it, but at any time you can come round. Yeah.
Okay. So right. So we do that, and we're go through the therapy. Now you put Auntie Onion in her place the last time a wee bit, because Auntie Onion actually turned around and said to you, do you suggest places, or do you suggest you don't suggest anything? Isn't that right?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I'm always very clear about this when we do the regression is everything that comes through is 100% from your memories. So there will be times when I will have to prompt you. Some people kind of not get lost, that's the wrong word, but they go quiet for a few minutes while they're digesting what they're seeing. So I will prompt you, but they're very, very open questions. So I'll never say to somebody, "Are you looking at the sky that's blue?" Because I put that image into your head then, and that
Mm.
would be really wrong. But I would say, "Can you tell me what you're seeing around you?" So I'll leave it up to you to pull things through then. But that's one of my real bugbears is people suggesting things when it 100% has to be genuine and come from you. So I'll never ever suggest anything.
And I think that's back to the hypnotherapy thing, because people put hypnotherapy and suggestion together. Isn't that right? And
Absolutely.
it's just an automatic thing. So, Claire, when people go through this regression, can I ask you what sort of questions you would ask them?
Yeah.
Say I'm going through the therapy. You know, what do you actually ask? Not all of it, just a wee hint of what you would actually ask me.
Mm.
So say I'm in my meditative, I can't even say that word, never mind, do it. Meditative state.
Yeah.
What would you say to me? Now I do know, because I do have experience of this myself, your voice is a lot slower, because
Yeah.
that's, yeah. So what would you say to me then when I'm under, or not under, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So when you're at that point where you're relaxed enough to start recalling the memories, the first thing I'll do is give you a focus point to focus your mind on where you are. So I would say something like, "Can you tell me what you're wearing on your feet?" And although that's
Okay.
it's a very unusual question, you automatically then start looking at yourself. And then most
Mhm.
people recount what they're wearing, and then we take it from there. But there's usually one focus point of a question, and then it leads to everything else. So it's just to get you focused.
Okay. So what Maria Tate's and Johnny Cahoon's just come in, that's my nephew. So basically then, would you say to people, what can you see around you? Do you see a street? Do you
Mhm.
see a house? Is it that type of thing? Would it be? Would it be that?
Yeah,
I don't want you, because obviously it's therapy and whatever. Don't want anybody passing out or anything or coping or me. That's all I need. But is it that type of thing that you would ask people?
yeah, absolutely. So once they've described what they're wearing and who they are, if they get a name, anything like that, I then say, okay, look up and just describe to me that of the scene around you. So I don't tell them what's there. I don't put images in the head. I let them describe to me. So what will happen is they'll describe one thing to me, and then the mind will bring forward more memories so that it becomes more detailed. So it starts to flow then. So after like the first 10, 15 minutes, I barely speak because people then can, the images flow and flow, and people,
Honestly?
yeah, it just comes like a river after that. Yeah. So
Okay. So how long, Claire, roughly does a session usually last? If you, how long would it usually last, a session of regression therapy?
so it really depends on the person that's under, to be honest. So I limit it at a 90-minute session, and that's purely because the person that is recounting these memories in that daydream state, when they come round, can feel quite fatigued sometimes. It's you recalling the memories at the same time as being quite relaxed, so you come round, you can be a little bit dazed. It's not a bad thing. It's just like you've had a really lovely, chilled, relaxed time, really. But I don't want you to feel fatigued afterwards, so I'll judge it. I'll judge it how things are going. So it's anywhere between 60 and 90 minutes.
That's a long time, isn't it? It's a long time. So, what I'm going to ask you next. Here we go. Because we're not mentioning any names,
Yeah,
and because we're not, so that means we're not breaking confidentiality.
yeah,
Have you any regressions that would stick in your mind that have been really, really sort of, I don't want to use that word weird because I think we're all weird, but
yeah.
that's that has stuck in your mind? Is there a couple you could give me that's stuck in your mind?
Yeah, there are a couple. Obviously, I've done quite a fair few over the years, but
Hmm.
um, there was one recently where I regressed a lady who, um, quite a funny lady on this side, but sorry, in this life, but she had a thing about men. She'd been married but divorced, and just like the single life now, and didn't like very men much anymore, but didn't really know why. So she wanted to go at regression. So when I regressed her, I took her back. She had two past lives in the same session, which was great, and both times she was a prostitute. That was amazing because we were laughing when she came out of the regression.
That's
We
desperate.
were laughing. We were laughing. So I was like, it's bad enough having one life when you get treated like that, but then to have another one afterwards where you were
So
treated
she
the
not only in one regression, two
same.
lives,
For two
she was a.
lives.
That's desperate.
It is. So we were like back in the day, really. I mean, centuries ago, prostitutes were the lowest of the low and treated
Mhm.
dreadfully, weren't they, on the streets and things? So this is where a hatred of men came in. That's where she thought it had derived from. So
So because of her being a prostitute, as you say, because prostitutes were really, really, low class and whatever, not
yeah,
just because that affected her relationship with men in this life.
yeah, absolutely. That's where she thinks it came from. She kind of recognised that feeling from a past life as the same feeling as she's got today. So she's put that link in with what it was.
I have never seen Asians this quiet. It's sight they're there, the silence, so they're all listening here. And well, I I remember you telling me another one. I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was. What was that other one you said? Or you can give me another one.
Yeah, there's probably a couple we chatted with Auntie Lillian actually. So there was one about the lady and her granddaughter. Um, so she had a daughter had a daughter, and she felt a very special connection with her granddaughter. Something a bit more than the usual kind of maternal grandmotherly thing. So um, she swore that she recognised her granddaughter from somewhere within her eyes. She has to be regressed, and when she went back to the year where that she recognised, her granddaughter was actually her mother in a past life.
What?
So again, yeah,
I have
it's a
just
big
took a
one for the soul.
chill. I
Yeah,
have just took a chill right down this side. This
wow,
side's warm. This side is cold, and I have
oh,
just
wow,
took a chill. That's unbelievable. Now
yeah.
I remember a story you told Auntie Lillian. Was it about what was the story, Claire, about the photograph? Was it a photograph about the ones that the people met in the end? That one? Do you remember that one?
Oh, so no, it wasn't through a photograph, but
Oh,
it was actually through through a voice call. So I guess almost like a photograph, I guess, but two people that were speaking on a group thing, a bit like we are now, I guess. Um,
yes.
had an instant recognition for each other. Um, didn't
Right.
know why, didn't know how. Regressed them both separately, at different times before they spoke, and both turned out to be brother and sister as well.
And
In the past life, yeah, they turned out to be brother and sister.
so let me just clear this up. Right.
Yeah,
So these two people spoke on like in a Zoom call, right?
yeah,
They'd seen each other, they
yeah,
recognized each other, they couldn't work out how.
yeah,
And they both actually came to you separately for regression
yeah.
because this was bothering them so much.
Yeah, so we were all
They
part of the same group. Yeah, so part of the same group, but both came to me separately, regressed them both, and turned out to be brother and sister. And amazingly, went back to 1 year within each other. So went back to a year for difference, and exactly the same place in the country without each other knowing. So it blew my mind. It was just
That's unbelievable. It's not unbelievable, folks. Claire,
really.
I think I'm going to have to get a Ouija board or something here because I think these have all collapsed here. Right. Now, there's something I'm going to mention here, and you're not expecting me to mention this, but I'm going to mention it anyway, right? I believe that not only I know you do your regression therapy as well, but if I'm wrong, you can tell me in this now. Maybe I'm going to say the wrong thing. But is there an opportunity where two used to do this regression? You maybe bring someone else in. Like, is it a regression you would do, and James would be there too?
Absolutely. So
Thank you. I knew that was. I
yeah,
knew that was right.
the joint regression, yeah. So me and James are kind of if anyone ever logs on to James's lives or through his page and things, then he'll realise that we do actually work together on a couple of projects at the minute.
I'm going to
Um,
talk about that. I'm going to talk about that
yeah,
before we finish tonight. Oh,
yeah,
somebody else has just come in there. Laura's Craig says, "Yep." I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is? Laura's Craig? No.
yeah,
Nice to see you, Laura's Craig. Welcome to
yeah,
YouTube.
um,
So tell me about this. So basically, anybody once again knows James is a medium.
yeah.
So how do you work together? How does that work?
So we had this idea. James is quite a big fan of the regression. Like he promotes it quite a lot, and he does when he does his readings. He has when he's read for people now, thinks that some people will really benefit from regression therapy as a form of the healing process. So we decided, why don't we do this together and just give everyone that one session where they can speak to James and they can speak to myself. So we tend to do we call it a joint regression. So I'll do the actual regression process. James can, he opens up, he can sort of visualize and see things too. And then afterwards, we'll all three of us talk about what happened. And then James can give almost like a mini reading, not like with cards, but just like he can tap in spiritually
Yeah.
and say, well,
Yeah.
this is what I think happened. And I think this would be, beneficial for you. And I got a feeling that this would happen. Um, we actually only did one last Friday. It was a lovely lady halfway across the world. So we kind of went international on Friday with this. Um, and he, when I started doing the regression, he opened up and became emotional. And watching James work alongside this lady, he picked up on everything that she was picking up through her past life, all her emotions and everything. But then was afterwards was able to give a lot of spiritual guidance. We could do it together to really help this lady and put some
Isn't that
deep
amazing?
together.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh my good grief, there's somebody I haven't seen for a while. Our Faith is in. Hi, Faith in our Irish, like puppy Faith. How you, Faith? Good, I haven't seen you for a while. You're very, very welcome. Just a couple of comments here, sir. Sam
Yeah.
says, I am glued to my phone. I find this subject so interesting. And Carrie says, this is fascinating. I still won't get a chance to chat properly, but I'm listening intently. So
Oh,
not so not only then we have the regression there, which you do yourself,
yeah,
then you have another option of getting the regression therapy, plus you've got the mediumship coming in there to work alongside your regression. That
absolutely.
fascinates me
Yeah,
because, as you know, I do. You know what I do. That
yeah,
really, really fascinates me. So these are, folks. Not only could you get a regression with Claire on her own, you can maybe do that first or whatever.
yeah,
But there's another option where you can actually get the regression done with James being there as well, making a connection to spirit. So there's a couple of options. I'll give you all the details shortly how you can contact Claire if you were interested in getting this done.
yeah,
Pardon me, and once again, you don't have to be there in person. This can be done virtually.
yeah.
Of course, fascinating. Okay. Faith says, hi, Stuart and Claire, for its Faith.
Perfect.
I've got Faith as our Faith. I've known our Faith for years, dear. We used to
Oh,
dance around we used to dance around our handbags in the 80s.
I remember those days.
Oh, they were the great days. My handbag was always white. Well, anyway. Right, Claire.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to step aside for a moment. But no, do you know what I'm going to do, actually? If anybody, folks, is interested in contacting Claire, I will put the links under this video when we're finished. I'll put the links on the video on YouTube. I think the links are actually there already on YouTube, but if they're not, I will put them there. And the website on the top of my head, because I haven't got it in front of me, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is www.ghostsoflivesbefore.co.uk. Did I get that
Well
right?
done. That's it. Yeah,
Oh.
well done.
I should have plenty of practice with it. I've been saying it a couple of times now. So, folks, that's www.ghostsoflife lives before, isn't it? Lives before. Go www.ghostsoflivesbefore.co.uk. But hold on a minute, because see her and James have about 20 bloody websites, so there'll be more coming, so don't worry. Right,
Yeah.
so Claire, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a shift.
Okay.
We'll go that way because everything's opposite in this one. So let's move to something slightly different, which is even fascinating as well.
Okay.
Now, you, you know what I'm going to say. You were or you are friends with someone who used to be on the television,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and that is. I can't remember his name. His name is just went out of my head. How can I forget a face like that?
Well, that's
What was
it.
his
Yeah.
name? What was his name again, Claire?
So it's Phil Wyman. Yeah. Who used
Phil
to,
Wyman.
yeah.
Now, if anybody doesn't know who Phil Wyman is, Phil Wyman used to be the, how did you put it, the scientific side, the skeptic side of the TV show most haunted in the early days, and then obviously he left, and then it was the Kieran O'Keefe took over and something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
There was a few other ones. Derek Cora was there, and all that was the mediums. Then Kieran O'Keefe was there. He was more or less the skeptic. He was the person was there with all the equipment. He did all that there. So him and his wife actually they run a paranormal group, don't they? Over there, don't they?
they do. So we were friends with Phil's wife before they got together. So they had a little paranormal group. We used to go kind of ghost hunting with them. So I did a few venues. And one day Phil got invited to like be a special guest at one of our of Sarah's ghost hunts. And then 2 years later or something, they ended up getting married. So Phil became a big part of the life really. And they started up their own ghost hunting company. And we used to take people all over the UK doing ghost hunts, and now they've got their own program on the telly as well. It's on
Oh,
Pluto TV. Yeah, so
oh, I didn't know that. I have to tune
yeah,
in.
yeah, we do.
It's not about the ghosts, just to look at him. Well, Andy Andy Williams raging. She found out he was married. She fancied him. So, so Claire, was that the time? Now, you did share the experience you had with me in the early days. Was that then? It was, wasn't it, when you had that experience with your back?
Yeah, it was. We were taking a group of people to Morecambe Winter Gardens. Oh gosh, a massive old theatre. It was
Oh,
just
it's
great. So
beautiful place.
great. Oh,
Do you know, Claire, it's a pity it went like that because it used to be a lovely, lovely place years ago.
yeah, I can imagine. It's a beautiful building now, even though it's derelict. It's still a great building. But yeah, we were right up in the gods, right at the top floor. There was a little room at the back away from the seating, and we all stood around doing a circle. There was probably about 10 of us. And at the time, I was sort of leading the group, showing them what to do. And I stood in the middle of the circle and just said to people, if you can, sorry, I said to the spirits, if there's anyone around, if you can make a noise, touch one of the people in the circle. Obviously, it was pitch black and everything went quiet, and I felt like 250 volts of electricity shot down my spine, and it absolutely made me jump. It was so sudden, like I felt like I got zapped. Um, it spooked me a little bit, but obviously, being the leader there, I didn't want to scare the other guys that were there, so I kept a lot of it to myself. Not to frighten anyone. And then later on that night, obviously later on, I discovered I had scratches down my back which had come from nowhere. So that was probably my most physical spooky experience that I'd had. Yeah, with spirit on a ghost hunt.
It didn't stop you, though, did it? Because you became
Oh no,
addicted.
no,
But Claire, people say that. People say, when you start going on paranormal investigations, and you're not even if you're a member of a group, but if you start going,
yeah.
it can be addictive.
It's basically if you imagine a lot of people compare it to like getting a tattoo. If you feel that initial pain, don't you, of having it done, but you go back for 20 more, and it's like with ghost hunting, you feel really really nervous when you go. You get quite frightened in the dark, but the adrenaline kicks in, and before you know it, you've booked 5 more ghost hunts. Do you know what I mean? It's like the same kind of adrenaline, I think. Yeah.
So, did you continue to do ghost hunts, or did you stop for a while, and did you come back to it, or what was the story there then?
Yeah, so I stopped when I got pregnant with my son at the
Okay.
time. So obviously, start a family, you're up most nights with the baby anyway, but you really start to appreciate your sleep. And of course, when you ghost hunting, you can be up from like start the ghost hunts 8, 9 o'clock at night and not finish till 5 in the morning or get home. And you don't have time, when you don't have a family, you have time to recuperate the next day. But when you have a family, you're up again, and it just became too tiring. So we obviously prioritised family at that point and raised my
Hmm.
son. So he's kind of a little bit older now, so it means that people can take care of him, and I can start the ghost hunting up again, which is what me and James decided to do.
And you and the infamous, he's not even here tonight, he's way getting his back rubbed. You and our James have started, well, it is a business. It's called Near Sight Afterlife. I got that right too. I did this all by memory. And basically, you have came together again
Yeah,
to do ghost hunts. Uh, I don't like calling them ghost hunts. I like calling them paranormal investigations. But everybody to their own. But
Yeah,
basically, you go around. But you go around, obviously, these places. You're very familiar with the places because, obviously, with the history. I'm
yeah,
sure you like to go to some places where you've never been to before. And
yeah.
that's where I bring in the game, come to Northern Ireland, because we have loads of haunted
Would love
places over
to.
here. There's
Yeah,
one only just down the road from me, one
yeah,
just down the road from me. But your paranormal investigations or ghost hunts have a bit now. Yeah, now I'm going to put this into two because
yeah,
number one, James is there as well.
yeah,
Now, obviously, in the old most haunted days on television, they had the medium there,
yeah,
and they give their evidence of what they picked up, and obviously those days, I know most haunted didn't have a great reputation at the end and whatever. I don't want to talk about that, but what I mean is, I'm just going to go by the theory of what was supposed to happen. That the medium went in, had absolutely no clue about the history or anything, and they give their evidence from their mediumship. So that's the first part. So it's that what you would do as well.
yeah, absolutely. So we do tend to keep James away from the venue history as much as possible. So what he gives during the night is authentic.
Yes,
Because he doesn't know much about it. Whereas I'm a history buff and I love going to find out about the history of these places. So naturally we've both kind of set in our roles. You know, it's been very easy to be honest. Like I look up the history and then see if the venues are going to be good to go to. And then James will kind of, you know, will I kind of say, well, this is going to be good, and I don't tell him anything, but he's very trusting and say, yeah, that looks like a good place, just based on what he feels. So he doesn't hear any of the history. He's very trusting because one of these days it's going to be really spooky and he'll get really scared. So he's been very trusting at the minute.
do you know what it
Um,
is? Just laughing because there's a good one of my admins in my group, Kai Ferguson. I call her my local historian, and we actually do after dark nights. We've covered Jack the Ripper, we've covered different things, we've covered Anne Boleyn, we've covered. This week, this girl knows who what queen was crowned and who done this and who done that. Now I haven't a clue. Hey, Charlie, nice to see you. But our Kai would have she'd be in her element with this because she loves all that too.
yeah,
But Claire, that's not all what happens when James is there because you actually do something which is actually quite unique. I would say unique to these ghost hunts. If you want to explain that for me as well.
yeah, absolutely. So we're both very spiritual and both have the belief that anybody can open up. So it's
Mhm.
possible for anybody if you've got the inclination to actually open up to spirit. So what we do, rather than run it as just a paranormal investigation like most groups do, we actually spend the first half an hour, however long it takes to open up the group. So we'll talk them through the opening up process, sorry, so they know. James will talk them through exactly what to do. It's not mandatory because we are going to get the odd skeptic that will just go, no thanks. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, we give everyone the opportunity to open up with James. Now, the last ghost hunt that we did up in Northumberland, um,
Was that the bunker?
no, that was the bunkers next. Actually, it was the Northeast Land Sea and Air Museum,
All
uh,
right. Okay.
up in Sunderland. Sorry, not Northumberland, but yeah, up in Sunderland. Um, we There was 10 of us that went, and we said you've got the option to open up. You don't have to, but if you want to experience spirit with us, you can try this method too. And literally everybody jumped at it. Every single person
But
in that
Claire,
opened up.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I don't mean to interrupt you because it's something I need to say. Sometimes when we go to these things and we go to these paranormal investigations, people just can't stand there and scream or
Yeah,
whatever, whatever. But isn't it great that people are being encouraged to be a part of it as well, even
so,
if they can't connect, even if they try to, or whatever? It's getting everybody involved. Sorry, I'm racking the place. It's getting
yeah,
people involved, not just standing there freezing or whatever. It's
yeah.
getting people involved in and plus they'll be an important part of the investigation as well.
Yeah.
I just want to read something out here. Carrie says, "Hi, Claire. I'm Carrie." As you was talking about, I'm a spooky history addict. History and spooky combined is my favorite.
Oh,
Um, she's actually saying to me, "So when is Claire and James going to come to do one of these nights in NI? I'd 100% be down for that, and so would I
um,
actually as well." And Sam
amazing.
says, "Yes, Carrie, paranormal and history to Gary." I'm going to tell you something else as well. Our Sam, who's there, he is, because I've done like many readings for Sam. I've actually never did it. Have I did a full reading for Sam? I don't think I have. I've did a mini reading and stuff just in a group. And our Sam's quite connected. I actually think that our Sam's quite connected there as well. So all these, he would, I think he would love it too. But as I say, it gets people involved. They're not just there; they're being a part of it. But also as well, do you actually still have the equipment and stuff as well? Claire,
100%.
like
Yeah,
that's what do you call it? AM.
EMF meters. Yeah.
I've thought I was going to. What do you call that group? Stay now. That was something else. That was a great. Stuart, don't, don't. I was. I was the wrong thing.
Oh, that's funny, yeah. I know exactly who you mean.
He's 17. He's 17. Come into my head. Thanks, Sam, because Sam's just confirmed it was a mini reading.
Yeah.
Maria Tate says she'll not be there because see Maria Tate. I'm Maria Tate. We have a saying over here. Claire Maria Tate's a cool like anything to do with speaker or anything. I would do like sort of videos from Scott Ham and stuff on here and have people see them and whatever. We would do like spooky nights. Our
Yeah.
Maria's straight out the door. She can't cope with it. So
Oh,
you've got the not E17 meters, the EMF meters,
yeah.
and then also, but you also have trigger objects and stuff as well, don't you?
Yeah, we have our most famous trigger object, which I affectionately call Scary Bear, who
Can
is
I just say something? Sorry to interrupt you again. I don't mean to. Could you explain to everybody who don't know what is a trigger object? Why is it called
uh,
a trigger? Oh my God. Sorry, I just have to stop here. Because Michelle McGrogan, because we do virtual coach trips as well, she says she'd drive the coach because she can drive coaches and all.
oh,
She'd drive a coach. Sorry, we've got a coach now as well. We're all Maria said I'd be away. So yeah, so I've got Carrie helping with the history. She can help you with the history.
amazing.
Sam can help us connect. Michelle's driving the coach, so there's it's arranged.
Brilliant. We're sorted now for a trip.
Sorry, so could you explain to people? I know some of them will know what actually is a trigger. Why is it called the trigger object? What is a trigger object, please?
So, a trigger object is just any object in the world. It doesn't have to be anything spooky, but you pop it somewhere and ask spirit to interact with it. So that's basically all it is. Some people like to dramatize it and use things like crosses, which or a Bible, anything like that, which is just drama. That is spirit will if you're respectful to spirit, they will interact back with you with any object in the world.
Mm.
Um, as long as it's they know which one they have to interact with. We tend to use things like oh, I forgot the name. Oh, we've got like a bell, like the old reception bells that you press.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
one of those. Um, we've got a cat toy, a little rubber ball with a light in it. So if they touch it, it'll roll across with the light on. So we've got that. And then we've got Scary Bear. So he's just a pink, it looks like the old Care Bears from the 80s that are kind of stood up like this, and there's lights in his paws. And when if anything goes past it, there's an EMF meter inside him. So when it detects the change in energy, it sets the bear off, and his paws light up. But he also kind of it's not screaming, but this loud noise comes out of him, and it literally makes you jump. We call him Scary Bear, but that's actually very polite for the names he got called up at Nelson. So yeah, he gets called lots of rude names as well when he sets off. But yeah, that's basically
I
what.
can imagine. Laura Craig says now, I couldn't do that. I'm a screamer. Not going into any old buildings unless it has floodlights, she says.
No, you know what? It's funny you should say that because literally James went with about 17 torches and we bought this 6 foot lamp as well with a big torch on the end of it. So we're both scared. The irony is we're both scared of the dark. We hate the dark. So we
Do
go
you
with
know,
like torches
but Claire,
everywhere.
do you think, and this is going to take us off subject, I've got more comments to read here. Do you think people who are sensitive or people who can connect, is this a thing? Because I, now I'm all right at the minute because obviously I'm a wee bit older now. But see, when I was a child and stuff growing up, I was always terrified of the dark.
Yeah,
Um, Obviously because of maybe was seeing and feeling and whatever as well. But James said the exact same thing. There's other mediums, different people who connect, all say that they have this terrifying thing about the dark when they were younger.
yeah, absolutely. I didn't like the dark because I used to hear noises in the dark. Um, and it bothered me a lot. And I think if you are aware of spirit, and most people know that the times of the night between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. is when there's the most activity. Your instincts are going to fly up, aren't they? And you're going to know that you can't see anything, but you know they're there. And it's that fear of not being able to see what's there when you know they're around. So, yeah, I guess if you're more sensitive and open to it, then yeah, you could develop a fear of the dark. It does seem a common thing
Mm-hmm.
for people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No,
Mhm.
I do. And another thing as well is people don't realize that mediums, as well like James himself or whatever,
Yeah,
they still get scared. We are human.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Just because you talk to spirit every day doesn't mean you near shit yourself at the end of it and telling you, I have a nappy on. Lurk says, my granny always said, if you're too afraid, you won't see anything like a ghost. So there you are. Now,
Yeah.
Sam says, I'm not scared of water. I swim in the sea, but my fear is boats.
Okay.
Well, there you are, Sam. So maybe if you do a wee regression, you could maybe find out why.
Yeah.
Uh, he said so true, Claire. It must have been about something you said earlier on. Carrie says, when I went to Waverly Hills, people leave balls of wee. What? When I went to Waverly Hills, people leave balls for a wee boy spirit called Timmy, who loves to roll the balls across the room. I'm assuming it was something he loved in life, and that, hold on, Seymour, hold on. That's why he was drawn to them. So obviously that's like a trigger object for him. And
Yeah.
Sam says, I've always wanted to go there, Carrie, but then again, the journey is too long. 4 hours on the airplane is enough for me. I'd be tested in September because his flight 6 years. He's talking about flights, the holidays. Laura Craig says, I still don't like the dark now.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Mhm.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really, really is. So, now, hold on now. So, even though we're over here, if anybody still, people on YouTube obviously will watch this afterwards. The website, hang on, the website for this is www.nearside, hold on, www.nearsideafterlife.co.uk.
Yes, well done. Oh, you do well tonight.
No scripts. I don't use scripts. You know, I don't use scripts. I don't use even the other twin sister. She doesn't use scripts either. It's all
Yeah.
in here. So the first one is www.ghostsoflivesbefore.co.uk,
Yeah.
and the one for the ghost hunts is www.nearsightafterlife.co.uk. The
Yeah.
first one is for the regression. The second one is for the ghost hunts.
Yeah.
Now, what else? Where was I? Yes. So you've got other trips and all organised. I know they're mostly on the mainland at the moment. So
Yeah.
give us a wee gist of what we've got coming up.
So coming up, we have the 24th of July. Yeah, we're going to Culverden Hatch Nuclear Bunker in Essex. Then we've got 25th of September, we're going to Shepton Mallet Prison in Somerset. And we've just today got the contracts for an undisclosed location. in a place, what you mentioned earlier, actually, Stuart, up here in
Oh,
Yorkshire. So that we're going to reveal that.
oh,
But yeah, so yeah, a hotel up here. So that's going to be the back end of November. Um, so yeah, there's quite a bit coming up, and we've also got potentials for from January to March next year. We've got a couple in the pipeline that we've already made contact with. So yeah, we're full steam ahead at the
are
moment.
you going to do anything special for Halloween? Or is that when everybody does it? And yet, whatever, or
So we've not, do you know something? We've not actually thought about Halloween. So with Halloween, it's very much a man-made celebration. So
yeah.
it's, yeah, we're very much out there as to whether it does become more heightened at Halloween. If it
Hmm.
does, my opinion is it's just because everybody's intention is to see
Hmm.
spirits, to heighten the vibration. So I think
Hmm.
that's basically the only reason why you would see more at Halloween. As yet, we've not decided, to be honest, but in Halloween, all the paranormal groups jump on the venues on the same day.
That's what I was going to say. They're all out there as well. You know, it'd be
Yeah,
hard to get somewhere.
yeah.
But maybe you could do a wee experiment or something, or something. You
Well,
never
we've
know.
got a few ideas. I mean, there's always ghost walks and things that we've chatted
Hmm.
about, and yeah, we've got a few things in the pipeline. So the thing is, when you get started with this, the ideas just pop. What can we do? What can we do? There's lots on
Now,
it.
here's an interesting one. I'm going to try to bring this up.
Mhm.
I don't like seaweed spiders, ugly things, yucky things, and plus 100 other things. I would need a long session, Laura says.
Bless you. Oh,
Well,
that's
you never know. You never know.
yeah,
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 was there anything? Was there something else I wanted to ask you, Claire? Right, folks. Just a reminder: if anybody is interested, then maybe taking this step of getting the past life regression. As again, I will put all the websites and all there. You can contact Claire. As I say, you don't have to be there in person. It can be done virtually. And also, maybe if you're interested of the regression, plus with the presence of James there to connect, you can contact Claire. If you go to Claire's website, she has a contact page there. All the information's there, and you
yeah.
can contact her there. So, Claire, the final question
Yeah.
that I ask everybody: what's the future
What's the future? So,
for Nightside Afterlife, for anything, for the regression? What's still ahead that you would like to achieve, maybe, or what you haven't done, what you would like to do yet?
so what I would really love to do, absolute dream, would be to have a healing centre. So I'd love to have a place where people could come, experience regression, readings with James, meditation, have a place where they can just zone out of the real world for a bit and use it as a place of healing. And obviously would do the ghost hunts and things through that too. So that's the dream. I am sort of on the way there. So in September, I'm actually going to be having a stall at the Harrogate Health and Healing Festival for the first time and doing talks and workshops on regression and having a stall there too. So it's becoming a reality quite good, quite soon now. So eventually, the dream would be to actually have a building somewhere where we can put all this to life. Yeah.
Laura's just asked me a question here. Do you do the guitar board? What's a guitar board?
Oh, I don't know.
And what's a guitar board, Laura? Maybe it's a trigger object or something. I don't know.
Oh, possibly. I mean, we're open to new ideas, so if you can suggest something, you bring it on.
Laura, that's a very, very bad subject. It actually is a Ouija board she's talking about. You don't,
No,
Laura.
we're not
We
into
don't. Even me, they're not safe. That's my opinion. We've talked about this before.
that.
No, they don't use them. No, and I wouldn't even use it either. And I wouldn't recommend anybody to use them. But if we start talking about them, we're going to be here for our 9 hours.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, you ever open your wee centre? I could come over a couple of months a year and book a wee Harrowy room and
Yes, that'd be
do some
amazing.
readings
But
myself.
you know what? This would be the thing. It wouldn't just be for us. It'd be for people to come
Mm-hmm.
and do their things. So you may more than welcome, Stuart, if it
Because
ever
the thing about it
materialises.
is, you could have people there maybe doing Reiki Higan as well. You could have people doing their,
100%.
how do I get this right? It's Shitari Higan. There's all different types of Higan. There's a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
and you could have that going on. It could be like a holistic
Yeah,
health centres as such to be that much going on.
yeah, 100%.
Melissa Clark, thank you so much for joining us this evening and giving us all that lovely information. Once again, folks, by the way, just before we go, has anybody got anything they want to ask Clark? I nearly forgot. Does anybody like to ask anything before we pop off? It takes a wee minute because Facebook there's about a 30-second delay because it just timed it there when we come on. YouTube's usually, it's unbelievable. YouTube's on the ball. Sam says, Claire, what a fascinating subject. I've just finished watching Ghost Inside My Child. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
Um, Scary, but absolutely fascinating, he says. So
probably
thank
is.
you so, so much. Carrie says, oh, it's a girl we know called Linda who's here. He says Linda does the show. I can't even pronounce this now. Hang on. The shamanistic, is it shamanistic? Reiki healing.
Yeah,
It's amazing. She gets someone like her onto the center when it opens as well.
yeah,
So, oh, they're all flying in here, Claire, all booking their rooms.
absolutely.
That's what
Yeah, the more the merrier.
that's what you want. That's what you want. And Laura Craig says, thank you so, so much, Claire. Thank you very, very much.
Very welcome.
Okay, folks. Well, thanks for joining our Claire and I tonight. Our James couldn't make it tonight, even in the chat. He's getting his back rubbed. He's getting a massage tonight because I was actually speaking to him today.
Yes, yeah.
So once again, folks, I will put all the links under the YouTube video, and I will also put the links in the Chatter House as well on Facebook. And Carrie says, thank you for tonight, Claire. It has been such an amazing topic to learn about. So there you
Oh,
go.
thanks, guys. Yeah.
Well, okay, folks, we will be back next Tuesday night. I don't know what we're doing yet, but it'll be something. And I will see you all 7:30 next Tuesday night. And once again, thank you very much, Claire. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, folks, good night.